Okay, so today we are going to talk about persevering through missed goals. So this was something that Susie and Britta and I talked about. We were going to talk about it tomorrow night, but I can't do tomorrow night, and we normally do our team calls on Wednesday, so I figured I would just take the template that we had and make my slides and give this a go. So this is actually a really good topic given um, I'm just going to mute everybody. Hang on a second. I don't know how to do, oh, here we go. Okay. So it's actually a really good topic because today was actually and for most of you, you weren't aiming for any kind of goal at this point, but it's good to pay attention, and I will always update you guys when we are, as a team pushing or individually pushing towards big goals. So right now, today was the last day to qualify to be recognized as a diamond, star diamond, and so forth at Summit. So oftentimes when we hit those dates, when we get to that point in our business where we're like, okay, I'm going to hit a goal on, for example, today, May 18th, and that goal doesn't happen, we often backpedal. We start to push ourselves back. We start to, think that we're a failure, that we're never going to succeed, that we're not made for this. And then we start, we take we're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to sulk about it for 24 hours. And then it turns into 48. And then all of a sudden it's a week, and we haven't invited, and we haven't done our vitals, and we haven't worked out, and we haven't done anything. And then by the time that we get that, moment, that feeling back where we're like, okay, I could do this, we've lost all of that momentum that we've built and all of those conversations and all of those people. And people they're not reaching out to you anymore because they don't feel like you're around, because you might not have been posting, or you might not have been engaging or talking to people. So we're going to talk today about how to move past that, how to, keep going, even if you miss a goal, because missing a goal doesn't mean that you're, done. It doesn't mean that you're done forever. So before we get into it, I wanted to recognize, I don't know how to switch slides. Oh, here we go. I wanted to recognize everybody that is currently on the leaderboard. When it comes to our business, regardless of anything, Success Club is the cornerstone of this business. So right now, Anna is like always leading from the front. And I'm really happy to see so many names on this board. We are still a very baby team, and to see everybody stepping up and asking questions and, putting one foot in front of the other, that's where it starts. We all start from nothing, from, no experience with this. And if you're aiming to help people, you're going to do amazing in this business. So I'm really, really happy to see so many names consistently on this board. So I'm going to talk to you guys about some of my missed goals and some of the things that, in my life and in my business, I haven't reached. And, one of those things was last year, at the beginning of, I joined as a coach at the beginning of January. I didn't start coaching until the end of January, beginning of February. And in April was the Diamond Retreat with the Shine Dynasty. And I was like, oh yeah, I could do this. But I didn't really have the mindset. And I set a date, and I didn't hit it. I didn't hit it at all. I didn't hit Diamond until like the last day of June last year. So I could have given up. I could have thrown everything in, but I didn't do that. I just kept pushing forward. I have been, pushing for other goals, so leadership ladder goals, and I missed that advancement in the leadership ladder by less than 600 team volume. So that's not very much. And I could have, again, let myself get discouraged and given up and been like, well, I'm not made for this. I can't even make this goal happen. But I didn't do that because that's, for me, I've kind of come to this point where I'm like, you know what, if a goal is going to happen, a goal is going to happen. And maybe it's just not that time for that goal to happen. For part of my story, I graduated last year at the end of April, and then I started a second degree just to kind of feel it out, and I thought that it was something that I wanted to do, and it definitely was not something that I wanted to do. So I was dealing with a lot of anxiety just before exams in August of last year, and I actually, dropped out and I stopped taking that university degree But I had income goals after that. And, I was really pushing to hit certain income goals because I needed to be able to stay home with my girls and I needed to be able to cover certain bills. And, like everybody, we all have mouths to feed and roofs to pay for. So I missed an income goal by $100. That's not very much. And I got discouraged. And that was one of the times that I kind of started to see a difference in my business, because I started to feel like, well, it was $100 and I couldn't make that happen. And it took a lot of personal development for me to realize that, like, it's just $100. I could do that. I can do that. Totally not business related. But outside of our businesses, we all have things that we miss, things that don't work out for us, things that, could completely derail our lives and, we could let define us. I started university out of, grade 12 in 2010. And I went through my first 4 months, I guess. I was really sick. I was really discouraged. I didn't like being away from my daughter. I was having a really hard time adjusting, and I actually just dropped out, completely dropped out. I was, an honor student in high school. I did really well in school, and it was a very big blow to my ego, to my identity as a person, because I've always been defined as that person who pushes through everything, and I kind of felt like I gave up, and for a long time I let that control how I felt about myself. But just because I dropped out of university at the time, it felt like the biggest thing that ever happened to me. It was horrible. But now looking back on it, it was probably one of the best things that I ever could have done, because if it wasn't for me dropping out of university, I never would have embarked on, taking my degree online, something that worked so much better for me, especially because of my girls. So I don't want you guys to look at your goals as, set concrete goals, set dated goals. But if you don't reach them, don't kill yourself over it. I heard this thing the other day. Can't remember who it was, a particular coach. My husband would probably know if I asked him. But he has a 24-hour rule. So I think it's a basketball coach. And, if you win the game, you have 24 hours to celebrate. If you lose the game, you have 24 hours to sulk about it. And that's it. Get back in it after that. And I thought that was really cool, because I was like, wow, I could definitely apply this to my business. If I'm really having like a really rough day, or, I don't hit a goal, or I don't do a certain thing. Yeah. Okay. I could wallow in my, self-pity for 24 hours and then just get back on the horse and do it again. So, the quote in the corner I really like, because it is so true. If you tell yourself you can, you will. If you tell yourself you can't, you won't. It all comes down to your mindset. So if you give up just because you miss a goal, you're giving up. The goal being missed doesn't define you. So in, conjunction with that, a lot of times when we miss goals, we start comparing ourselves to other people. For example, today there are going to be a number of coaches who have hit their goal of hitting diamond or star diamond, or, 2+ star diamond, for the summit recognition. And there are going to be other coaches who don't hit that goal, and they're going to start comparing themselves to said people who did. And they're going to be like, oh, well, I didn't hit it, and, whatever. And then they're going to start thinking less of themselves. But the thing is, everybody's story is so different, and success is defined so differently for every single person. So when you really look at it, everybody thinks, and when you talk to people outside of anything, outside of university, outside of, going to get a job, outside of entrepreneurship, anything like that, people think, oh, okay, yeah, I'll make the decision, I'll go, and it'll be, one straight line from here to there. And it is not that at all. So, when you're going through your journey, you're going to have ups and downs and, winds and bends and all these things that happen. But if you look at this graphic, the arrow still continues on. There's no stop. There's no restart. There's no nothing. It's literally just an even flow of, okay, this happened. Oh, that happened over there. Oh, this happened. And you continue on. You keep pushing forward. So don't compare yourself to somebody else's story, because for a lot of people coming into this business, they look at, coaches that have been in the business for a number of years or months before them. Or, for some people, like Nikki Johnson, for example, she came into this business and she did really well out of the gate. And people are like, oh, well, I should be able to do that. But the things that people don't realize is Nikki Johnson had a successful blog before she started coaching. And she was tracking and sharing her T25, I think she did T25, journey on her blog without being a coach, just sharing and just, because she was already doing a mom blog. So she was like, oh, I could just blog about this. So when she started offering the idea of coaching, people were ready to jump in because they had already been following her. They had already seen her progress. So you can't compare, your startup to her startup because they could be completely different. You might not have had any kind of social network. You might not have had anything to start off with. So you can't compare, a goal that you set compared to a goal that she sets and her reaching it and you not. Because again, there's a different story there. There's different successes. There's different things going on. So people don't just come into this business or into anything and just start and end. Like their goal isn't just a straight line. You have to go through all kinds of things, missing and hitting goals in order to get there. One thing that I think so many of us don't do is recognize the things that we do right. So often, and I think society does this to us, we get into a situation where we're like, oh, well, I suck at this and I can't do that and I screwed that up and I didn't do this right and, oh, I said that wrong or I, had a spelling error or whatever. And we focus so much and we highlight and bold and friggin' underline all of these things that we do wrong that we completely forget any of the things that we did right. So I've done this a million times in my life and I do it even now, all the time because I'm human. And we need to start recognizing our successes because yes, we're going to miss goals. This is inevitable, people. It is inevitable that we are going to miss some kind of goal. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are going to miss a goal. We are going to let ourselves down. We are going to make mistakes. We are going to be human because we are not robots and we are not perfect. But I want you guys to start making it something that you guys do daily to recognize yourself. Recognition has become a vital behavior. They've gone from 3 vital behaviors to 4. Recognition is one of them. And it's, not just recognizing your coaches or your challengers or, other people. It's recognizing you too. Look inward and say, okay, well, I got my workout in today. I'm sorry, but if you got your workout in, you're a badass. Like, I'm sorry because for the last 2 weeks, have struggled. I remember at the beginning of my journey, I would lay on my living room floor and be like, I don't want to do this. But you get up and you do it. And that is something to be proud of. You drank all your water today? Good. Be proud of that. You decided that you were going to take a shower? Awesome. Because you know what? As a mom, for any moms, that can be a really hard thing sometimes. So recognize yourself for that. It doesn't have to be some big, massive thing. Recognize yourself every day for the little things that you were able to do, the little things that you were able to make happen because of you. So do daily affirmations. Literally write down things that you tell yourself negatively, like I can't be a leader, or I can't invite, or I suck at this. Write a positive version of everything that you tell yourself negative. Any limiting belief that you have, turn into a daily affirmation. Turn into something like, I am an incredible leader and people want to work with me. I can change lives. Write those things down and put them on a sticky note, put them in your bathroom, put them on your, bedroom mirror. I don't care where you put it. And say it to yourself in the mirror every single day. Because the more that you say these things, the more that you recognize, the more that you, affirm to yourself that you are what you say, what you believe that you're not, eventually you will start to see something completely different. Focus on your accomplishments. Focus on the things that you are doing, the things in your business that you are accomplishing, the things that, maybe you couldn't do when you first started, maybe things that you couldn't do last week, something you couldn't do yesterday. Focus on those things. And lastly, remember how you want to feel. Okay, so often we get caught up in, oh my God, it would be really cool to be able to get to this goal, and we get all amped up and we're like, yeah, when we hit that goal, we're going to feel like this. And then we get there and it's really great and we're on this really big high for 30 seconds. And then it's gone. You hit the goal, now what? I don't want you guys to do that. I want you guys to live that like really great excitement that whole time, the whole journey. So how do you want to feel when you hit that goal? Feel that and drive that feeling all the time. Work for that feeling, not for, a certain income, not for a certain rank. How will those things make you feel? How will those things, push you forward? And start to try to feel those things now. Work on feeling that way throughout the entirety of your journey. So again, that quote on the side, take pride in how far you've come, have faith in how far you will go. You can't get stuck in where you are. You have to pay attention to, okay, well, I was here and now I'm here, but I've done all these things and I've made it this far. So if I keep doing these things, I could end up over here. Like, keep moving in a motion forward. Don't get stuck, in a place where you feel like you can't. Yeah, Michelle just said, this is what it looks like. I was just going to show you guys the desire map. We were given this as a gift at the Diamond Retreat. It is all based on feeling your goals. Half of the book is personal development, and whatever in the second half is a workbook. So that's the desire map by Danielle Laporte. I'll post it in the team page. But, focus on where you guys want to go and how you want to feel the whole way through. Because if we only focus on the things we did wrong and the things that we're not going to achieve, well, then you're not going to achieve them. You're never going to get there. And then you're going to miss those goals over and over and over and over again. And I don't want you guys to do that. So when I get stuck, or I feel like I haven't hit a goal, or I feel a lull, like I've missed out on something, I always go back to my why. I get out my journal, I get out a piece of paper, and I start going over, why am I here? Why am I doing this? And sometimes it's just that, just writing down why the heck you even started to begin with, that you start to realize that, yeah, okay, I missed that goal, but that goal wasn't my original goal. That goal wasn't, that didn't define me. It didn't tell me that I was, a success or a failure. It was just a goal that I set. So go back to your why. Go back to the reason that you're sitting here, the reason that you're on this call, and pour into other people. We're in the business of helping people. And I think sometimes, like I was saying before, we get into these, situations where we kind of like throw like ourselves like a sweet pity party. And then we forget that there's all these people that we could just be pouring into. And the more that you pour into other people, the more that your cup gets full. And, you obviously have to take care of yourself too. But when you're talking to all of these people and you're, helping them, and you're finding out what's going on in their life, and you're able to offer them advice or suggestions or help them get started, and you're, doing all of these things, you start to really remember and feel that fire inside you again. Like, yeah, there's a reason why I'm here, and it makes you feel better. So go back to those things. Go back to, the things that you did in the beginning, and start doing those things. Don't stop. Don't stop doing your vitals. Don't stop doing your inviting. Don't stop doing your personal development. Holy hell, don't stop doing your personal development. If you hit a goal and you're feeling immediately like, I'm going to throw a 1 week pity party, pick up every PD book that you have, literally every PD book that you have, and go through it and think about, okay, why am I discouraged right now? Why, what is going on in my life that is making me feel like crap? Maybe it's a missed goal. Maybe it's something else. But pick up personal development. Pick up something, like literally anything. It could be like a podcast, a book, a YouTube video. I don't care. Anything. Dive into personal development for as many hours in a day that you can. Because you're going to start to feel that fire inside you. You're going to start to feel that confidence inside you again. So again, the quote on the side, the most amazing thing you can do in your life is help someone else. You have the power to change somebody else's life. You have the power to make their life better, to make them smile. And I don't know about you, but when I feel crappy and I can still go out of my way to make somebody else smile, it makes me feel pretty damn good. So if you're having a really rough time, just try alleviating all the pressure. Don't worry about selling a challenge pack or doing anything. Just talk to people and just create a relationship, create a friendship, and start, pouring into somebody else, and you'll start to feel much, much better about yourself. The vital behaviors. You can't not do the vital behaviors, okay? So there have been so many times where people will give me, and I'm sorry, a little tough love here. People will give me the excuse of, I don't have enough time. I can't. There's not enough time. It's bull, like giant BS story. If you stop telling yourself the BS story will end, and you will automatically have this like crazy amount of time. Now, no, I don't know how to slow the rotation of the earth, but I can tell you that you probably spend 30, 45 minutes a day just aimlessly scrolling through Facebook or watching a TV show or, wandering around your house not doing anything, or sitting in the car driving to work. You could drive. I'm not saying don't go to work. I'm saying you could do one of your vital behaviors on the way to work. Load a podcast onto your phone, plug your phone into your dash, and there you go. Voila. If you drive 1 hour both ways, you have 2 hours of personal development every single day without fail. You will be a rock star. You will feel like you're on top of the world, and you didn't even have to find extra time. It was just there being wasted, probably listening to the radio or listening to the news, which is really depressing. So you could listen to personal development on the way to work and on the way home. You should be always a product of the product. If you're having a crappy day, get some exercise in. Kick your own ass, and you will feel better about yourself. That is one of the best ways to relieve stress, to relieve anxiety, to relieve any kind of poor feeling that you're feeling inside. Go and do something like, go do Insanity Max 30 if you feel like you can't do anything, and you'll know by the end of it that you are a rock star, because every time I'm done a really hard workout, I feel better than ever. Don't stop inviting, okay? It might feel, hard for you to invite if you're feeling like I can't do this, but go back. You guys have so many, different scripts, so many different ways to connect with people. Go back, find, something, and use that to get through your conversations. Maybe on a normal day, for me, I invite between 10 and 20 people a day. So if I'm really feeling down, I might only invite 5, but I didn't skip it, okay? If I don't feel like I can do 10 to 20, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not going to do 0. I'm going to do as many as I can. And, if I'm having a really bad day, maybe that's 3, maybe that's 5, that I didn't miss it. Don't forget to recognize people in your challenge groups, on your wall, in the team page. If you see that another coach is doing really well, or, you want to celebrate a challenger, just recognize people. Show them that you see their successes. Show that you see them and you're proud of them. And, you might look up to somebody or have gotten an idea from somebody, but recognize them. Things are going to happen in your life, okay? The beginning of this year was really hard for me, with family emergencies and deaths in our family, and I didn't miss a day of my vital behaviors. My grandmother passed away. Adam's grandmother passed away. My daughter was in the hospital 2 days because she had 2 separate seizures within 3 weeks. I didn't miss my vital behaviors any of those days. Does that mean that I was sitting at my grandmother's funeral inviting? No, it doesn't. It means that when I was driving there, I was getting some stuff in. I was, I might have been using it as a distraction, but I was getting it in, because when you run a business and you want success, I know in my heart that my grandmother would not be telling me to ditch my business. She would be telling me to give it my all. So I did that. Michelle was having a baby and talking to me while having a baby, while going through contractions and inviting. While having a baby, she was inviting, okay? So there are no excuses. There's no reason for why we can't push forward, why we can't overcome obstacles. Maybe it's 10 minutes of personal development on a really bad day. Maybe it's, maybe it's, just getting your workout in and you're shaking. That's being a product of the product, okay? That's you're doing it. You invite 3 people, you do 10 minutes of personal development, you've maybe taken up like 20 minutes of your day. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. 20 minutes of your day you can make happen. I'm not saying do a power hour on, the hardest of days, but you do it. You just get it done. And it will move your business forward. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. There are no breaks, okay? Some days you'll have more time, some days you'll have less, but every single day, these things on this slide need to be done. If you want success in this business, they are vital behaviors for a reason. So tips that I have for you guys when it comes to when you're really struggling, when you're missing a goal, maybe it's Success Club, okay? So if you're finding that you're getting towards the end of the month, like we're on, May 18th, if you're finding, okay, well, I really want to hit Success Club 5 this month and I haven't helped a single person, or I need to help 1 or 2 more people. This is the perfect opportunity to team up, okay? So find other coaches in the team page and ask them to run a challenge group together. There are challenge group templates in the file section. You guys don't need to run them with me. You can join up together and, go back and forth with days and run them by yourselves. It makes it way more fun and creates better friendships within the team if you guys come together. If you are, and I do this all the time, if I am feeling like, I'm just so stressed out and I just feel like I am like losing my fire for this right now, I run a free group. Because a free group, everybody wants to be part of a free group. Everybody wants to be in a clean eating group or a 7-day kickstart. I did a mom and baby challenge where I did like daily videos with my daughter. You could do anything that your heart desires, you could do a free group for. But people want to jump in because it's free and it's a chance for you to, run a group. It's a chance for you to help people. It's a chance for you to get testimonials. It's a chance for you to build your confidence and push forward. So if you guys are struggling, run a free group. Talk about a free group with people. Invite to a free group. Incentives are great. People always love to get a gift, to be part of a draw, to get, sometimes I've done like a $10 money back, like e-transfer, when they order a challenge pack, or I've done, I made like these last fall, I made these like DIY mason jar things because I thought they were cute and I was making them for myself. So I made them for people that join my challenge group. And then just connect, okay? Like just connect. For the gift thing too, you could do like a $10 gift card or whatever. I'm not saying go spend like $40. Don't do that. But just something little, just something, you could do a draw for a program for anybody that enters into your challenge group. So anybody that buys a challenge pack could be entered to win size or hip hop abs or 22-minute hardcore. Pick a program that's not super expensive. But if you're selling, and helping out 3 to 5 people, to spend $30 is not bad. So connect with people, go and have conversations, just talk to people like you would your best friend, talk to people like you would, anybody that you are close with. Don't talk to them like some stranger on the other end of a computer. Go in and be like, hey girl, what's up? Like, I seen that you were doing this. Do you have any plans for the summer? Are you getting excited for the long weekend? Like, just talk, just connect with people. You don't have to jump right into an invite. You just create some kind of conversation, and that will help you guys get out of that funk, to move past those things. Again, create a vision that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning, okay? Like if you're feeling that funk that happens when we miss a goal or we, feel like we didn't achieve something or whatever, do something that gets you excited. And for me, that is running a group, that's connecting with people. So I love just being like, I'm just going to run a free group. And I just decide randomly that I'm going to run a free group because it's going to help me. It's going to help them. It's going to be something that works for everybody. And whatever, it gets me out of that funk, and I help people doing it. So do something that gets you guys excited, okay? Don't make it something that stresses you out. Don't make it something that makes you more angry. Jump in and make it fun for you and for the people that you're helping, because if you're not having any fun, they're not having any fun. So make sure that you have fun. This I loved. I always love researching all the people that failed in life, because they didn't fail. They just didn't do it right the first time. So that's okay. So Howard Schultz was turned down 242 times. If he gave up any one of those times, you wouldn't be able to buy your $8 Starbucks, which, I mean, Starbucks, so it's $8. I don't buy Starbucks, but you get the point. Michael Jordan, I always like this one, was cut from his high school basketball team, okay? This is a guy who, like, ran the NBA, and he was cut from his high school grade 10 basketball team. The Beatles were rejected by a record company because they didn't like their sound, which I think is hilarious. This one I like too. Oprah was demoted from her job because she wasn't fit for television, and now she has her own channel. So yeah, that guy screwed up on that opinion. Dr. Seuss, his first book was refused by 27 publishers. So think about that. My whole childhood was full of Dr. Seuss books, and to think that potentially I wouldn't have any Dr. Seuss in my life if he gave up is kind of sad. Who is not Henry Ford's Detroit Auto Company went bankrupt. This is hilarious. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for not being creative enough and not having original ideas, which is really funny. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Okay, like all of these people are known for the thing that people said they couldn't do. Every single one of those people are known for the thing that that people said they weren't good at, that people said that they couldn't do, that they didn't like, that they weren't good enough for. But that didn't matter to them because they were ready to succeed. They were ready to push forward. They were ready to keep going and prove all of those people wrong. And I'm pretty sure that all of those people we can, unanimously agree proved all of those people wrong. Okay, so I want you guys to remember that. The people that we see as successes now, the people that, when we walk into Starbucks or we are, we see an Oprah magazine or we're reading our kid a Dr. Seuss book or the Beatles come on the radio, okay? Like all of these people would not have existed in that kind of platform if they just gave up, if they listened to that one person that said that they weren't enough. So when you get objections, when you get haters, when you get people that tell you that you can't do this or it's not worth it or whatever, your desire to succeed has to be bigger than all of that. None of that matters, okay? None of that matters at all. If you miss a goal, who the hell cares? Just keep moving forward. I want you guys to remember that. And if you guys ever need inspiration, Google these things because there are tons and they're really awesome to look up. When in doubt, post about it, okay? When you are having a rough day, when, something isn't going well, when you hear an objection 800 times, when you feel like you're not doing something right, when, I don't know, even in like personal life, like if you're a mom and you're having like a really crap day, I can guarantee you that other moms are having really crap days. Other moms understand what you're going through. So post about those things. When in doubt, be yourself, friggin' post about it. You're not the only one that's going through something like that. Other people are experiencing it too. So when you get an objection, turn it into a post, talk about it. Talk about the things that are happening. And do what you can to post publicly about it. So you don't have to say so-and-so said this to me in an objection, blah, blah, blah. You can just say, like if you're talking about Shakeology, like talk about what it means to you. Share your journey, share your experiences with it. If you're having a crap day as a mom and you feel like your kid doesn't want to listen and your kid hates you because they told you 800 times, which my kids, have done that because they're kids. Post about it. I can guarantee you other moms have been there. They've done that. They're going to connect with you. They're going to feel your pain. They're going to relate to you. And your story is the most precious thing that you have. So when you're going through something, talk about it. Share those things with other people because they want to hear about it. And this is the last thing that I have. 3 rules. If you do not go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you do not ask, the answer will always be no. If you do not step forward, you will always be in the exact same place. And then Thomas Edison, which I like this, said, I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So just because something doesn't work for you guys, just because it doesn't go as you were planning, just because things don't turn out the way that you wanted or things took a different turn, that's okay. It's okay for things to go all over the place. It's okay for things to be crazy. It's okay for things to not make sense. It's okay to miss goals, but don't give up on them. Don't just decide that you weren't made for this anymore and you can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. It's okay to miss those things. So remember though, all of that. I'll share the slides. You guys can save them. Look up quotes. I mean, I spent like half an hour today looking up quotes and I saved a bunch of them, because when a goal is set, you want to have a hard rule, a hard goal set, a date, a time frame. But if that day comes and goes and you aren't there yet, that doesn't mean you throw in the towel. It doesn't mean that you're like, oh, well, I just, I'm not made for this, can't do it. Like, it's just not going to happen. It's like, and this always upsets me